Hello and welcome to New Fast Food. Today we've got tons and tons of Taco Bell news, rumors, secrets, speculation, all of it. Taco Bell has dropped so much information on us the last couple of days. Let's just jump right in. All right, we're going to start with some Taco Bell news that we know, and we're going to jump into some secrets, some speculation, all kinds of stuff. So first what we know, a little bit of update for you. I reported probably close to a month ago now that the next promotional item that Taco Bell was going to offer after the Naked Egg Taco was going to be the triple melt burrito. When I talked about it, it was still sort of a rumor, sort of not really confirmed as far as officially, but now we've got these new images popping up online of the triple melt burrito showing up already in Taco Bell cash registers. So that pretty much confirms that even though it's not an official press release or anything, that pretty much confirms that the triple melt burrito is going to be the next promotional item. The date that we're hearing is April 5th. So you've only got a couple more weeks to wait for the $1 triple melt burrito. Sounds like a good deal to me. We talked a little bit about this back in my video at the beginning of the month. But the triple melt burrito is basically very similar to the beefy melt burrito that Taco Bell had way back in 2011. That one had sour cream on it. This triple melt burrito has nacho cheese instead of the sour cream. So it's going to be a little bit cheesier, but all in all, about the same as that beefy melt burrito from 2011. And the triple melt burrito will also be joined by the triple melt nachos, which is basically the same thing that's in the burrito, just in nacho form. So that's coming April 5th. Keep an eye out for that. Next up, we're going to talk about some new freeze flavors that have leaked this week. So remember, Taco Bell just came out with their new strawberry Skittles freeze, and they typically only release about 3 or 4 new freeze flavors a year. And the next one is planned for E6, which just a reminder, Taco Bell splits up their year into different experiences. We're right now in E3, Experience 3. Starting April 5th will be Experience 4. That's that triple melt burrito we just talked about. So now coming all the way out to E6, Experience 6, which typically hits in late June or early July. They're going to hit us with the watermelon flavored freeze. So no brand name behind this one. It's just the watermelon freeze, as to our knowledge now. And then after that, there'll be another freeze flavor in E9. And E9, Experience 9, usually hits us somewhere in October. Either towards the beginning of the month or later in the month, but usually in October. And they're going to hit us with the caramel apple freeze. So that one actually sounds pretty interesting. It's probably not going to be like an apple freeze with caramel mixed in. It's likely going to be a caramel apple flavored freeze. I've heard some people say that doesn't really sound very appetizing. I think it actually does sound pretty good. You might have a little bit of a texture thing with, caramel being, not usually being smooth, but now in a freeze being kind of crunchy. But I think that's not a huge obstacle to overcome. We just talked about Sonic having a pickle slush earlier this week. So if they can make a pickle slush work, Taco Bell can definitely make caramel apple freeze work. I think that actually sounds pretty interesting. Again, that one scheduled right now to come out in October. These have been leaked. Now, Taco Bell's had things leak in the past, and then they ended up changing them as the date got closer. So this is not really, and obviously not official that this is coming, but right now, the plan is for watermelon freezes to come out in late June, early July, and then caramel apple to actually replace that in October. Alright, so we talked about the next promotional item coming out, the triple melt burrito. We talked about some new freeze flavors that just leaked. Now let's talk about some new and upcoming test items, as well as some new information on some existing items. This information is coming from the Cheddar Network. And before you get too excited, the Cheddar Network is not a food network. It's actually a sort of a financial network. Cheddar, money, you see how that works. But they sent a reporter, Alyssa Julya Smith here. They sent her to interview Taco Bell product development manager Rene Pisciotti. And there was a lot of interesting tidbits that came out of this interview. We found out some new information about existing items, and also one brand new item that I don't think has ever been released outside of their headquarters test kitchen before. So let's jump right into it. They start with the naked egg taco. No new news there. And they go from that to the nacho fries. And the one interesting thing they say here about the nacho fries is that they pretty much confirmed that they are going away next month. For E4, they will no longer be on the menu. We're just expecting that to be April 5th, so if you want to get those nacho fries in before they go away, they will almost confirm now that they will for sure be going away April 5th. So he says that they're going to go away, but they won't be off the menu for long. So whether that means they're coming back later this year or next year, we don't know. But he says that they won't be off the menu for long. So then they move from the nacho fries over to the naked chicken chalupa. Now here's an item that a lot of people have been asking Taco Bell to bring back ever since it went off the menu about a year ago. And we thought it was going to come back earlier this year. That plan was changed. There were some rumors that it would be coming back in E5, which would be sometime in May, and he pretty much confirmed that rumor. He says about the naked chicken chalupa that it will be coming back in a few weeks. So he says a few weeks, but we know it's not coming back in a couple of weeks. That's the triple melt burrito. So in a few weeks, he could mean, he most definitely would have to mean the experience after the next one, which would be E5 and would be sometime probably in May. So if you've been looking forward to the naked chicken chalupa coming back, it looks like you may get your chance in just a couple of months. Okay, so he moves on from the naked chicken chalupa to the toasted cheese chalupa. So we covered this here on this channel just, I think, last week. We saw it being test marketed back on the East Coast. And he basically says that it won't be available nationwide until next year. So that's kind of a bummer for me. I was hoping that because it's already in the test market phase, that we may see it later this year. But from his words, that we won't be seeing that on menus till next year. I wouldn't take that necessarily as a confirmation that it actually will be coming next year. Obviously, everything is still up in the air. That's over a year away. Things could always change just a couple months from now. But it sounds like testing is going well, and the plan right now is to bring that item out, the toasted cheese chalupa, sometime next year. If you haven't watched my video where I discussed that, it's basically a chalupa with some toasted cheese on the outside. It sounds really good. I definitely want to try that as soon as I can. Alright, so he goes on from the toasted cheese chalupa into a brand new item that I couldn't find any information on the internet about. I think this is the first time that this item has been revealed to the public. And what it is it's the queso quesarito. And what it is basically a quesarito, but with queso sauce inside. So Taco Bell has had queso on their menu before, just like a lot of other Mexican restaurants. So they take the queso, they put it in the quesarito. You have the queso quesarito. So just when you thought that they couldn't fit any more cheese into that quesarito, here comes the queso sauce saying, yeah, we can. The pictures here in the video look absolutely gorgeous. I would encourage you, I'm going to leave a link to the video down below. I encourage you all to check out the whole video. It's about 8 minutes long, but you get a lot of information about how the Taco Bell testing process works and how things make it from the test kitchen into the restaurant. So definitely go check that out. I'll leave the link down below. It's hard to tell from the video here whether the queso sauce is replacing the melted cheese or if it's just being added to it. I'm pretty sure, in fact, it looks actually to me like it's just being added. So they got the actual quesadilla for the quesarito wrap. And instead of having, you know, some kind of other sauce that's mixed in with their quesadillas, this has the queso sauce mixed in there. That's what it looks like to me, but I would think that's what it is. So this one I don't think is in any test markets yet. This looks like it's the first time it's ever been shown to the public, and it looks really good. Okay, so all that information came from that 8-minute interview on the Cheddar Network, but believe it or not, there's still more Taco Bell news to talk about. So one thing that Taco Bell did announce this week is the introduction of their new Taco Bell branded tortilla chips that are going to be hitting grocery stores in April. So there, you see them here. There's 3 varieties. They come in classic, mild, and fire. Classic just being salted. There's no flavor on that one. Just a regular tortilla chip. They're labeling it as classic. And then obviously the mild and the fire are flavored like the mild and flavor sauce packet. Now there isn't a whole lot of information beyond that Taco Bell officially released, but we do know that Taco Bell test marketed these tortilla chips, or at least tortilla chips that were very similar to these, about 3 years ago in Southern California. So at that time, they were just selling them in Taco Bell restaurants. Now, I guess I would say that test probably went successful, and so now instead of just having them available at restaurants, they're going to actually make them available in grocery stores. And I actually think this is much bigger news than a lot of people think. Let me explain. Okay, so we know that Taco Bell and Frito-Lay, which makes Doritos, have a very good relationship, right? Doritos are being used in Taco Bells for the Taco Bell Dorito Locos Tacos, so they have a very good working relationship between the two. You would think that it'd be very easy for them to say, hey, you know, we're putting Doritos in our tacos. Why don't you make some tortilla chips that are Taco Bell flavored, and that'd be a good mashup for you to have, right? But it doesn't look like that's what's happening here. So at least with the version that they test marketed 3 years ago, there was no indication on those bags that Frito-Lay or Doritos had anything to do with those. And that is significant because that means Taco Bell is producing these tortilla chips on their own. And the significant part about that is, I think, this is my opinion, I think that they are gearing up to eventually replace Doritos in the Doritos Locos Tacos. That they could build up their own chip brand to be big enough where they could have Taco Bell chip flavored taco shells. So there's a couple reasons why they may want this, and the first one, I think being the most obvious, is that they obviously must be paying some sort of licensing fee to Frito-Lay, to Doritos, to use their name, their flavors in their restaurants. So, right? I mean, Doritos is not just going to say, "Hey, yeah, you can use our name and recipe for free." They're likely taking some sort of a cut off these tacos, whether it's 5 cents a taco, 10 cents a taco, or some other kind of deal. We just don't know. So, if Taco Bell were to replace Doritos with their own chip flavors, they could no longer have to pay Doritos for that licensing fee. But I actually think that the bigger thing in play here is that right now Doritos and Frito-Lay have a lot of power, a lot of leverage over Taco Bell. So whenever they went into this agreement for the Doritos Locos Tacos, it would likely was meant to be a limited time thing, and they would have their fun and then move on. But the Doritos Locos Tacos were so popular and now added to the permanent menu that now the Doritos Locos Tacos are kind of part of the core experience of Taco Bell. And that's not good for Taco Bell to have one of your core menu items be reliant on another company. Because say, they have an agreement right now, but say 5-10 years, whenever that contract is up for the Doritos Locos Tacos, and Doritos says, hey, we want to double our licensing fee, and now instead of paying us 10 cents per taco, you're going to have to pay us 20 cents per taco. Or really, I mean, they could say 30, 40, 50 cents per taco, and because the Doritos Locos Tacos are such a big part of the Taco Bell menu right now, Taco Bell would have a really big decision to make about whether to pay these bigger fees or take a menu item off the menu that's insanely popular. That's a very difficult decision that they would have to make, and so that's what I mean by Doritos having a lot of power and a lot of control over Taco Bell in the way that things stand right now. They could even say that they want to walk away completely for whatever reason, and Taco Bell would just be kind of stuck without their Doritos Locos Tacos anymore. So if Taco Bell is able to build up their own chip brand to at least be big enough to where they could replace Doritos Locos Tacos at some point without people being violently mad over the change, that would be a huge win for Taco Bell. So I think this is a long-term plan that Taco Bell is sort of putting into motion. A lot of it depends on whether they can actually make these chips popular, right? I mean, just because they're putting them in grocery stores doesn't mean people are actually going to buy them. But it's a first step, and I think that that's part of their plan. It's very similar to what happened on iPhones with Apple and Google. You know, when the iPhone first came out, they had the Google Maps app, and that was fine and dandy until a few years later, Apple started to realize, hey, the big thing that people use these iPhones for is GPS and maps navigation, and right now that's all provided by another company, Google. And if Google all of a sudden decided that they wanted to start charging for the Google Maps app, or even say, you know what, now the Google Maps app is only available on Android phones, we're no longer gonna support it on iPhones, then Apple would be in a really rough situation. And that's the reason why Apple decided to create their own Maps app. So if at any point Google said, yep, we're done, and no more Google Maps on iPhones, that Apple already has their own map app that they could just come and fill in the gap without too big of a difference noticed by consumers. So I think that situation, very similar to what's happening with Taco Bell and Doritos right now, and so Taco Bell introducing their own chips it could eventually be a replacement to the Doritos Locos Tacos. And I, for one, I'd be very excited if they made this fire chip into a taco. That looks very delicious. I'm assuming that it's a red tortilla chip, not just that there's so much powder on that it's bright red. I'm assuming that it's a red tortilla chip to start with, and then it's got some flavor powder on it. But that looks really good. If I was eating that as my taco shell, I'd be very excited about that. That's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about anything we talked about today. I know it's been a long episode. We talked a lot about Taco Bell. Let me know what you think about any of those items or speculation or secrets or rumors that we talked about. Also, leave your questions down below for next week's Taco Tuesday mailbag. I can't wait to jump in there and start getting to know you guys a little better and answering some of your questions. It's going to be very exciting. If this is your first time watching New Fast Food, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and you can check out more right now.